Hello, welcome back to the Astute Sage. This is Miss Real. I want to thank you guys for coming here and supporting me and lending me your ears. If you want to know more about me, you can click the description box in my bio. Oh my goodness, I can't talk. This Mercury retrograde is like getting to me. But if you want to know more about me and about my services and what I do, please feel free to email me. My email is in the description box below. And I think that after this video, you might want to click the description box to see how this particular message resonates with what I do differently for the people in the spiritual community. So, um, I was watching someone's live who I consider my mentor, and she spoke about spiritual integrity and how in the spirit, community, there's not integrity. It's about who's powerful, who's stronger, who's better, whose guides do this. And oftentimes I've even witnessed it where people, they're only really looking, some of them, for a dollar. They're preying on people's thirst for knowledge or wanting to learn more, and then they use that, they capitalize off of people's weaknesses. I mean, there are some people in the spiritual community, they'll take your last dollar and feel like what they're providing you is worth, but in all actuality you're still stuck at the same spot, feeling frustrated, feeling upset, and you're going around in circles. And it spoke volumes to what I've observed and seen, and the type of services that I provide as a spiritual advocate. Because I say I'm an advocate because I'm here to advocate for people who cannot advocate for themselves. Am I a spiritual teacher? In my own way, yes, but everyone is their own spiritual teacher. The student becomes the teacher, and the teacher always remains the student. So it's a cyclical cycle. And I say all this to say, some of y'all will go to people and get readings and feel like they're telling you the truth. That's not always the case. Some people could only be telling you that as a form of money. And I've watched these readers, and they, always check with your guides, always check with yourself. If you need a resource, check with a pendulum. Ask for confirmations. Ask for, certain signs and symbols that's going to, certain signs and symbols that are going to give you confirmation that you are heading in the right direction and you are doing what you need to do, and your guides do approve of you speaking or having someone tap into your Akashic records. That's the first thing. Everybody, just because someone says something, like the imposter syndrome, just because someone says there's something doesn't mean that they're it. You know, some of the best tarot card readers that I've seen, the one thing they at least have in common is understanding human psychology. That's the first thing. And the second thing, they're honest, they're real, they're not going to sugarcoat. So if you want someone to sugarcoat and baby you, then you shouldn't be listening to tarot card readers. And the ones that you're probably going to are selling you lies. Once you get a reading, you should have clarity in your circumstances, situation. I like to watch tarot card readers to see how they read, to observe what they say, to see if things resonate with what I'm reading. And that's how I do a check and balances. But that's collective energies against my own personal bubble or world energies, and some things that are happening in the collective, they may not resonate. So it's using your intuition. That is really key, and honing in on your intuition and building that skill to where you can rely. A lot of us don't even trust ourselves. We'll trust a stranger before we would actually trust ourselves. And you should always trust yourself, because by trusting yourself, you're trusting your guides, you're trusting spirit, you're trusting whoever you believe in to work through you and work through your life. Another thing is, a lot of these spiritualists, they will take your last dollar, some of them, Some of them, if you see how much they charge for a reading, it's overpriced, some of them. And I say all this to say, when you meet with a spiritual advisor or a spiritual teacher or someone that's doing tarot cards, and they can't give you a suggestion or they can't guide you on how to heal your problems, you should never go back and get a reading from them. That's why I told you guys to click the description box. If you're coming to me and you're saying, Miss Real, I'm having a hard time, putting food on the table. I've been through that. This is what we're going to do. We're going to find a community resource. We're going to find physical resources. And that deals with the first half of the problem. That's the first half. The second half of the problem is spiritually. What has happened, whether to your root chakra, your crown chakra, your solar plexus? What are you telling yourself to why you're in that situation, and work on it from a spiritual standpoint and a physical standpoint? That's why my motto is where the spiritual meets the physical, because you can't just work on spiritual needs and not mirror that to the physical needs. As above, so below. And if you know, then you know. You should never have to pay the amount of money that you're paying to me and I don't at least solve a basic need. We all as humans have basic needs. Some of us, we just need someone to listen. I get that. And I feel like for my ears, you're going to have to really pay for it, because I'm not going to give you a half-ass freaking answer. I'm going to give you a wholehearted answer. And guess what? If I don't have a real comprehensive answer for you, because not everything is comprehensive. Some problems are very simple. Others are comprehensive. If it's a comprehensive problem that I need to research, I'm going to tell you that, because oftentimes we go to these people who are our teachers, who are our guides, who are our mentors, and we think they know everything, and they don't. You go to the doctor, just because someone's a doctor doesn't mean they know everything. They're always finding new diseases and morbidities that haven't even been diagnosed, and they're considered rare. So doctors don't necessarily know everything. Just because we go to someone, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a guide, whether it's a doctor, whether it's a lawyer, whether it's a mentor, stop assuming that they know more than you or they know everything. We're humans. We can't know everything. We're not God. It's not possible. So, with that being said, you're helping these spiritual people, but what are they giving you in return? That's tangible. Yes, it's good. You can go on the internet, you can go on YouTube, and you can type in spiritual teachers. You can go and find mainly P Hall, and you'll go down the rabbit hole from there. You don't need someone like me. You don't need to pay someone like me or anybody on the internet to help you find resources and books. They've been there. They've been there for decades, for generation to generation. Now with the internet, it's just easier to obtain this information, easier to access this information. A lot of people are going through real things. They're having issues with debt. Oh, well, I manifested this. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't pay people for their knowledge. What I am saying is use your discernment. Go to people who have your best interests at heart. And I spoke about this in one of my previous videos, where it's self-interest, selfishness, and narcissism. All are different energies on the same spectrum. You should have someone in your corner who has your best self-interest as well as their best self-interest at heart. And some of these people, they're going to cost, but it's going to be worth the money if you get the honesty and the truth. We have to start having more integrity. We have to start holding people accountable, even in the spiritual community, even the people that you go to. But along with accountability comes to the person. Remember, it took you time to get into these situations. It's going to take time to get out. So really finding someone that's worth working with you, because remember, you're in a situation just like they're in a situation, but they're not talking about their situation. It doesn't matter how much money someone has or what status, they're going through problems. They're going through issues. Some of them, they go and they talk about it with other people that are trusted, that know how to help them so that they themselves can work through their problems and situations. And I say all of this to say, you should be going, when you go to somebody, you have work to do. You have to research how you're going to get out of a problem. It took you time to get into it, it's going to take you time to get out. And you have to be patient. You have to be willing to do the legwork. That's the problem. Everybody wants a platform. Everybody wants notoriety, or they want to be well known, or they want people to respect them. But where is the work? A lot of people, they practice magic and they're depressed and they're angry and they're jealous and they're rageful. And they're doing spell work out of these emotions that make no sense. They're not seeing a situation clearly. That's how come we end up in certain things, because we're blindsided. We don't see things clearly. And sometimes we need an outside source that is going to tell us what we need to see in a situation and to put us back on track. And that's what my job is when I come on and I speak to you guys, is to put you back on track, to allow your mind to think in a different light, to where you can get back on track if you felt like you've been off track. Everybody has situations in their life or sectors in their life that they need to work on. It's a never ending process. You will always need to work on things. You will always need to heal. But you have to be ready and willing to do the work. Sometimes one bath is not enough. Sometimes one candle, one spell, you have to continually put in the work to reap the benefits. We see people reaping benefits. We don't see how hard they work. We don't see how hard they sweat. So as you're going to get advice and guidance from people, from readers, to gain knowledge about your situation, how you can navigate, think about if you're seeing the situation clearly. Think about, is this somebody who is going to give you an honest message instead of somebody you're just paying money to? Think about, are they really passionate about what they do? Do they come on here and are they passionate? Are they really in it to help people, or are they in it for $1 to collect a check? You could be great at something but have no passion for it. Trust me, I know. I've worked at places, I'm great at what I do, I just don't have no passion. And that really sucks. But it's about having integrity. You holding yourself accountable, but you holding whoever you work with accountable. That's fair. You have to do the work. And it's not just you having to do the work. Whoever you're going to has to do the spiritual work, has to be dedicated, has to have discipline, so that real changes can actually take place. And if you're ready to have someone who's not going to sugarcoat anything, who's going to hold you accountable, who's going to help you with not only your physical issues, which is your basic needs, because if you cannot take care of yourself, you can't be in a relationship taking care of anybody else. You have to take care of you. And that's where self-interest comes into play. You have to put your self-interest first. You have to be a little selfish and have your self-interest at heart. And if you're not willing to invest in yourself, just like you're willing to invest in a relationship or a lover or a friend, then you have to look at your priorities. And you have to start looking at yourself internally for who and what you are, and to see where your pitfalls are. We all have pitfalls. We all have issues. It's actually acknowledging those issues and putting in the legwork and the footwork to make it happen. to make those positive changes and those positive shifts so that we are elevating and transmuting lower vibing energy with a higher frequency. So if you're ready to be held accountable, to put in work, but to also get your needs met, to be assisted, I highly suggest that you click the description box below and you read through my description and you read about how I'm trying to take you to the next level by caring not only for part of you, but for all of you. You're not just a piece of a person, you're a whole of a person. And that's what the Jesuits, they actually do preach that. And I do believe not so much in their whole doctrination, but at least caring for the whole person. How can you say you really care about somebody when you don't make sure that their at least their basic needs? Do they have a safe place to go, food in their stomach? Are they able to pay their bills? Those basic needs are so important and they have to be met in order for someone to feel like they're not only able to thrive, because when your basic needs are not met, you're in survival mode. When your basic needs are being met, you're able to now look at the world in a different way and try and thrive. And that's the whole purpose, is that we're going from surviving to thriving. And it's making that transition. And that's my ultimate goal on this channel, to get people who are struggling to survive into that mode and that energy and that next level where they're thriving. So click the description box, send me an email. I want to thank you so much for lending me your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe to this video. I hope it's caused you it's caused you to really look at things from a different perspective, because that's what I'm hoping to do here on this channel, is to cause you to think, to look at things, to think of things from a different perspective, one, but two, to actually help you, to give you the information that you need that's going to make you successful. I want to thank you so much. Much peace, much love, much light, and until next time.